What is the first thing you tell yourself after you fail? Is it, it's okay, you will try? Or it is more something like, you're such a loser? We've been taught that self criticism helps us to improve, but researchers prove it often does the opposite. It makes us procrastinate and often give up on what matters the most. But hopefully, there is a powerful mindset that helps recover without destroying yourself. That's what Kristin Neff teaches us in the book Self Compassion. What is this mindset and how to use it to handle failure without destroying yourself is what I'm going to share with you today for day 20 of my challenge to read 60 books in 60 days. Transition. This research explains why we instinctively tend to self criticize when we fail. It explains that self criticism is a way for us to fuel our motivation. We feel more motivated and work harder when we criticize ourselves after a failure. But the only problem with the kind of motivation it produces, it is not the motivation itself. It is where this motivation will come from. The research explains that this motivation will come from the fear, but not any kind of fear. One of the most awful kind of fear you may even feel as a human being, the fear of yourself. Yes, it is awful. When you criticize yourself, you become so afraid to disappoint yourself that you work harder. But what does fear often means? Or if I had to say it otherwise, what comes with fear? Exactly, anxiety. This fear and anxiety are two things that will not help you do better. Why? It is as obviously as you may have understood. Anxiety is something that makes you emotionally unstable. So you may work harder, you may do your very best to do better for the next time, but when the day, the most decisive day will arrive, since the circumstances under which you've been preparing for this second trial, you are emotionally unstable, you are so anxious. And this anxiety will impact your focus and overall performance, which, of course, will lead you to fail in most of the cases. But since you failed, you criticize yourself for a second time and you create more fear and more anxiety and you fail a second time. And then you try a third time and so on until it doesn't end up there. Unfortunately, there is a second step to the consequences that self criticizing after a failure may have over your overall life. It will bring you to something called self handicap. This self handicapping thing is when you begin to procrastinate, but it is not a natural or even that common kind of procrastination. This procrastination is not the common procrastination in which you just say, I'm going to wait and do it later and never do it. Here, you're procrastinating because you are too afraid to fail a second time. So you refuse to take the chance. You don't try anymore. And as you may have guessed, you have already quit. But what you're quitting is not a simple exam, it is not a simple business. It is your goal, it is your dream that you are letting down. And that's what the book has wanted to explain to us in the first place. By criticizing yourself, you use the fear to get yourself more motivated. The problem with this motivation, it is the motivation that will lead you to failure, not success. And that's why self criticizing, even in a short run, is not something that will help you improve. And your body does not need it. And I think unconsciously you know that your body does not need it. Why? Because after a failure, when you lock yourself down in a room and somebody comes and knocks at the door, when you tell them, I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to see anybody, what do you secretly expect in your heart? You want them to stay, walk into the room and talk to you. What do you want them to say? You don't want them to say, you're such a loser. No. You want them to show support. You want them to show this undying loyalty to you. You want them to tell you that you can and will be successful. You can and will do this thing. You want to hear them telling you, hey, I know how talented you are. I know how good you are. And I know that you've done your best, but I know that you're going to do better the next time. I know that you're not going to quit. You want them to be the ones who motivate you. Why do you need that thing so much? Why do you need to hear these words so much when you are so down, when you feel down? Why do you need to hear this word? Why do you need these words so much? Why do you need this moment so much? Why do you need this conversation so much when you are down? It is because these words are not the fear you create when you're self criticizing. They are the love you need. They are the love that will help you getting up and moving on. This love is called compassion. And what you should do here is to use this self compassion instead of using self criticism. Because the two do the exact same thing, they fuel your motivation. But the difference is that one uses fear and the second uses love. And self compassion uses love to fuel your motivation. The idea is for you to become the friends you secretly expect to come in your door when you also down and you've turned the light off. You don't want anybody to talk to you. You want to become this friend you expected to knock at your door. You want to become this brother you expect to knock at your door. You want to become your mom you expect to knock at your door when you are so down and don't want to talk to anybody. You just become this person for yourself. With self compassion, you don't need anybody to come and comfort you. You comfort yourself. You say to yourself, Amen. I know you've tried your best, but I know you can do and will do better for the next time. You show loyalty to yourself. You show love to yourself. You understand yourself because you know it is not your fault. It is not your fault because you've already done your best. But you are going to learn from this mistake to do better the next time. This is what your self compassion consists of. You are no longer criticizing yourself. You never say this is your fault. You never say you failed. You don't call them failures anymore. You begin to call them lessons, the lessons that will teach you and help you to grow and do better for the next time. It is a new mindset for you to overcome failure without destroying yourself. To use love. You have love and fear within you, but here you just use love to comfort yourself when you are down. You have failed, but you don't wait for anybody to come from outside to help you. You help yourself. I hope this video was useful to you. I will see you tomorrow for day 21. Bye bye.